Now, who's ready to live a better than ordinary life? Yeah? Yay. Who's tired of going through the motions? And just going through day in, day out? Yes? Excellent. Now, just for one moment, imagine that is actually possible for you to live an extraordinary life. Just for a moment, think what that life will feel like. What does that life look like and smell like and taste like and sound like for you? Do you have a picture? Do you have an image? Now, before we start with this program, I want to ask you one very important question. In front of you, you'll see a piece of paper, and I'd like for you to write down the number one goal that you want to achieve as part of attending this program. What is the number one thing that you want to learn or know or achieve or embrace or maybe let go of at the end of this program? Okay, I'd like to give you a little bit of personal information so that you feel like you know me a little bit better. So I've always had a love and a passion for people. I remember in my early 20s when I realized helping others just made my heart sing. And so I studied psychology and I hold an honors degree in it. But what I quickly realized was that focusing on everything that's wrong and trying to find out why something is wrong for someone doesn't actually make it right. Asking the question about everything that's negative just doesn't make people feel good or make them feel positive. So subsequently, I trained as a life and a business coach. I trained as a life coach in the UK and a business coach in the States because I realized that I would never feel like I was achieving success unless I was helping other people achieve success. I realized that I was never going to be my best unless I was able to help other people be their best, and that I was never going to make the impact in the world that I so yearn for unless I was going to help other people impact the world too. So while I was training as a life and a business coach, it kind of was a turning point for me because I realized something. I realized that success has 4 pillars. It's almost like a table with 4 legs. And so I'll share with you what they are. Do you want to know? Who wants to know what the 4 pillars for success are? Yeah, it's kind of important. The first one is knowledge. The second one is awareness. The third one is clarity. And the fourth one is action. So knowledge, awareness, clarity, and action. Those are the 4 pillars for success, and I'll be touching on them a little bit later. So every day I have the privilege of working with people, of helping them achieve success, and I really, really like my job. But very early on, I found a few weeks in working with a client, people kind of got stuck. And coaching all rests on the premise that people have to find their own way. So if you're my client, I'm going to ask you, what do you know what you should be doing to achieve a certain goal? And within a few weeks, people would just kind of run out of ideas. They just did not know how to increase their performance. They didn't know how to improve their relationships. They did not know how to get that promotion. And at that point, I felt, well, if I'm going to be the coach, I better know how to advise these people and help them along. Because when people get stuck, I'm not helping them succeed, am I? And so I needed to help people succeed. And that was another turning point for me, because it was the birth of the program that you're about to experience. It was at that point, many years ago, that I started puzzling together all of this information. And bit by bit, puzzle piece by puzzle piece, I worked it all out into what you're going to experience now, which is the unleash the power of your own unique, extraordinary life. And so what you are going to experience over the next few weeks is not something that I just plucked out of the air. This is something that I've been working on for years. And I've spent the last 2 years writing that book, which is coming from the printers next week, The Naked Truth About You, finally. Taken me 2 years just to write that book about this program. And so I've tried and tested and refined it with all of my clients. And that is what I'm about to share with you, and I'm so very privileged and excited to be able to do that. Now, the results of this program have far exceeded my own expectations. Honestly, I didn't expect things to turn out as well as they have. Now, let me just share with you a little bit of what some of my clients have experienced. They have been able to draw on the power of their minds to increase their profits by 100 and 1,000% in business sense. They've been able to achieve the promotions. They've been able to create the wonderful relationships. They've been able to put their life goals together and know what they want and actually go out and get that. And so the results have even astounded me, and I have been just so blessed and so grateful that people have found it so beneficial. And just last week, I was taken aback a bit when one of my clients said, "Do you know, Elise, really this program has changed my life." And I'm just think, oh, that's just so wonderful that I'm able to help people create the life that they like to live, and that I can do the same for you. Now, who has felt like you are hopeless and helpless and stuck? Has everyone ever experienced that feeling? Yes, stuck. Not being able to make the changes that are required. Anyone else? Anyone else ever felt stuck? Wow. Do you know what? You can get unstuck. And I'm going to help you do just that. And I've worked with people from school, children, students, to CEOs of large corporate organizations, and everyone in between. And I promise you, every single one of them was able to create a unique, extraordinary life. And I guarantee that you can too. Each and every one of you have the ability to create your own unique, extraordinary life. And so what I'm about to share with you is all the secrets and all the elements to do just that. But before I do, I just want to share with you one last little personal bit of information, and that is my vision. And I have to warn you, I have rather large vision. Do you know what? I want to live in a world where people feel good. Don't you? Do you know, what would that world be like if we all lived in a world where if you went to work in the morning, everyone actually felt good and everyone felt happy? That would be pretty nice. I want to live in a world where people are able to use their gifts to contribute in a meaningful way. I want to live in a world where people do the very best they can and have their very best lives. And not only do I want to live in that world, I want my kids and your kids to grow up in a world like that. And so I want to help create a world that is better than the one we're living in. And so I set a goal, and Sharon is very familiar with that goal. I want to help, wait for it, 20 million people by 2020, because it works so well, 20 million by 2020. How can you not set that goal? And so I want to help 20 million people by 2020, one person at a time. In the same way as I'm helping all of you, we're going to help one person at a time create an extraordinary life. And when you live an extraordinary life, you are making the world better. Do you agree? When you live an extraordinary life, are you making the world better or worse? Better, absolutely. And so that's the world I want to be part of. That's the world I want to help create. That is the world I want our children to grow up in. And so, as you can imagine, I'm not going to be able to do that on my own. I'm just not going to be able to help 20 million people on my own. And that's why I have a team of people that I recruit and train, and I am so privileged to have one of those people with me, and it's Sharon Challen. She's a coach. She's trained with me, and she's going to help me create that big, big vision and achieve that big goal. And so not only is she a coach with me, but I have the privilege of calling her my friend. Thank you, Sharon. And she's really good at what she does too. And we'll talk a little bit more about Sharon a little bit later. Now, what am I going to reveal to you? As I mentioned before, the steps, the pillars, the principles, and everything you need to know to unleash your own power and to create your own unique, extraordinary life. Does that sound kind of exciting? Yes, excellent. Now, we've already spoken about feeling stuck and not feeling able to make the changes that you require. I want to also give you a little bit more information about why some people experience that in their lives. I don't know if you realized or noticed, but when you were born, you just did not come with an instruction manual. Anyone come with an instruction manual? Frederica, you? No. No.
Group of students today. The hardest thing you ever do is have to speak with your instruction manual.
Oh. No instruction manual. Born into this world with no instruction manual. Not only did you not have an instruction manual, your parents didn't have an instruction manual on how to raise you. Nor did your siblings have an instruction manual on how to very best relate to you. Your friends didn't get an instruction manual. Your teachers didn't get an instruction manual on how to very best educate you. And so everyone from your parents, your siblings, your friends, your teachers did the very best they could with what they knew. They did the best they could with what they had. And so did you. And chances are you still are doing the very best you can with what you have and with what you know. The challenge is, though, most people just don't know what they don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Is it okay if I tell you a story? Yeah? Okay, so my story is about my lovely husband, Walt, and his mobile phone. So he got a new mobile phone, and it's a smartphone. And as most men, he did not read the instruction manual. Who's got a new phone and actually read the instruction manual? Maybe it's not just men then. Everyone? No one does. Okay, so he's able to manage his phone, to ring people, to answer calls, to check his email. But that's about it. That's about what he could do with his phone. So my 4-year-old daughter got hold of his phone, unbeknownst to Daddy. And she set the alarm. And not only did she set the alarm, she somehow managed, as 4-year-old kids do, to change the ringtone without Walt realizing it, and even without him knowing it. So not knowing what he doesn't know, right? So he takes his phone to work, puts it in the top drawer of his desk, and is at a very, very important meeting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you know what happens? Dogs start barking in the top drawer of his desk. Very, very, very surprising to Walt. Dogs started barking in his top drawer. He did not know what was going on. So he opens his top drawer and there's the mobile phone, and obviously the alarm had been set, and so he's fiddling with the phone, trying not the other people to see and hoping that no one heard that the dogs have been barking in his drawer. And so he managed to switch it off, and looking in the instruction manual, he managed to change the ringtone back to something that's not dogs barking. So do you see how Walt didn't know what he didn't know about his phone, but how he still got affected by it? That still had an influence on his life. And if he'd known that Eva had played with the phone, and if he'd known that there was a ringtone with dogs barking, he would have managed that situation a little bit differently by fixing it. And that's exactly the same with life. When you don't know what you don't know, you have no way of controlling those things. You have no way of managing the things that will be affecting you. Does that make sense? Yes. So let's go back to what I previously mentioned as the 4 pillars. of success. Can you remember what they are? Can you say them with me? Knowledge, awareness, clarity, and action. So when you have a table, let's imagine I take this table and I take this leg off. What will happen? It'll topple over. If I take 2 legs away, I have a big problem. Don't have a table. Yes? Now, success is exactly the same. Knowledge, awareness, clarity, and action. You need all 4 of them for your table of success to stand. Now, this is the deal that I want to make with each one of you in this room. I am so pleased that you have joined me. I am so pleased that you are here. But I want you to get the very, very best from this program. And so the deal is this. I am going to show you what you don't know, and it's the knowledge bit. Okay? My program's going to bring the knowledge. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you everything that I've spent years creating. I'm going to tell you everything that my clients have spent thousands of dollars on learning. I'm going to give that to you. But you know what? I cannot create a unique, extraordinary life for you. I just can't do that for you because it's not my life. I can only do that for me. And you have to create your own unique, extraordinary life. You have to unleash your own power. So, back to our deal. I'm going to give you the knowledge, and that knowledge will translate into an awareness. Because when you know something, you'll become more aware of it. Do you agree? And when we have awareness, we're able to manage and control that situation or whatever it is. Everyone still following? Right. Now, what about the clarity? What does clarity mean? Clarity means knowing how this information actually applies to you. Because we're all a little bit different and we're all unique. And each one of our unique, extraordinary lives will be a little bit different because we're different. So I might teach you something, and the way in which I'm applying it to my life might not be the same to the way you should be applying it to your life. Does that make sense? So I'm going to not only teach you the information, I'm going to ask you the questions that will allow you to get clarity. But some of this information might be new to you, so you're going to have to spend some time thinking about this. You're going to have to spend some time mulling it over and thinking, how can I get clarity? How does this apply to me? Does that make sense? Is everyone happy to do that? If I give you the information, I help you create the awareness, I ask the questions for you to get clarity, are you happy to consider it and say, okay, what does that mean for me? Yeah? And then we're down to the very important thing. The most important step is action. Because even if you have clarity, if you don't take action, what's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing. That's why coaching is so good. Because your coach says, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Did you do that? So you can't get away with doing nothing. Does that make sense? But even though you're all going to get one coaching session as included in this program, you're going to have to step up and be your own coaches and hold yourself accountable. Now let me say this to you. Each and every one of you deserve the very best behavior from yourself. You deserve the very best behavior. You deserve to take the action that will create that unique, extraordinary life. So, who is not happy to act as part of this program? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, excellent. So everyone's happy, yes? Happy to get the clarity and take the action. Excellent. So at the end of each session, I'm going to send you home with a little bit of homework. We might get to do some in the class, but if we don't finish it, you'll have to go and take it away. Also, I'll encourage you to review your notes on the session and to get that clarity. Everyone happy? Fantastic. Okay. So we've spoken about the deal and we've all agreed that we're going to keep the deal. So, now as part of this program, I'm actually going to cover a wide range of topics, including your mind, your emotions, your body, your behavior, how to predict your own behavior and other people's behavior, how to get the very best out of your time and your life. But I thought for today, for our very first session, it would be really appropriate to speak about life. And so if I said to you, let's have a little conversation about life, would you be able to speak about life for more than 10 minutes? No, probably not. Well, I'll tell you what, I can speak about life for hours, but I'll try and keep it short. So remember I said I've created this program and researched it and so forth. So I've distilled it down to the 17 keys to an extraordinary life. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go through every one of those. Some I'll just touch on. Others I'm going to go focus on a bit more. But it's up to you to go and think about them over the next week. It's up to you to mull it over in your mind and say, how does this apply to me? What should I do? How can what action can I take? Yes, everyone makes sense? Everyone happy? Excellent. So let's look at the first key. So before every key, the screen will look like that. And at the bottom, you'll see a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 so that you can follow where we are, okay? So the first key of your own unique, extraordinary life is, your life is a gift. Ask anyone who has a terminal illness what they think about their lives and whether they value that life. Do you think they'll say yes or no? Do you think they'll do anything to stay alive for a little bit longer? Yes. Why? Because your life's a gift and your life is important and significant. And you get one go at life. And you can and should make the very best of that life. And this is it. This is your lives, guys. This is it. No different. You're not going to look any different, feel any different. This is it. This is your life. And so you should really, really make the very best of this life. Okay? On to key number 2. As I just mentioned, your life is significant and important. And I actually want to go and look each one of you in the eye and say, Carmen, your life's significant and important. Nikki, your life is significant and important. Louise, Mark, Leanne, Christy, Julie, your life is significant and important. Courtney, your life is significant and important. And you should know that. Frederica and Sharon and Andres and Louise and Walt, your life is significant and important. And you should live it as if it is. Has anyone ever said that to you? Has anyone ever said to you, do you know what? You're important. The world needs you. Your existence isn't random. It's not just by accident that you exist. You're here for a reason. And it's up to you to make that life count. Okay, key number 3. You can, and in brackets, should, choose to enjoy life. Who's enjoying their life at the moment? Excellent. Excellent. Now let's look at this logically. You have a life. Anyone disagree with that statement? No. We're all alive, yes? We take that as a given. That's true. Now, you have a choice. You can have a crappy life or you can have a happy life. For me, it's a no-brainer, the choice, which one to choose. But somehow most people seem to choose not the happy one. And I hear clients say to me every day, yes, but my wife. Yes, but my husband. Yes, but my children. Yes, my boss and my so-and-so and this and that and the other thing and my car and my house and my all of that. You all have those excuses going around in your mind why life's not so good? Yeah, we all do. Do you know what? I want you to understand that your time for waiting for everyone else to change so that you can stay the same is over. We're not going to wait for other people to make your life better. You can and should choose to enjoy your life. You have that choice, and it's available to you now and now and now. Every moment of every day offers that choice. You can and should choose to enjoy your life. Now, life is filled with things that are good, and life's filled with things that are bad. Everyone agree with that? There are good things and there are bad things. When you look at the bad things, what happens? Does that make you feel good or bad? Bad, that's right. And so when you feel bad, do you do a good job? Like if you feel bad, are you a good mom or a good wife or a good whatever you do at work? No. And so when you don't do a good job, do other people relate to you well? No. And so does that make you feel even worse? Yes. So it's a slippery slope, focusing on what's wrong in life. Does that make sense? Well, conversely, when you focus on everything that's good, because there are good things, there are great things. There are great things in your life right now. And when you choose to focus on what's right, that makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you do well, and you're happy, and people love being around you, and you perform well, and you get the promotion, and you get the recognition, and you get the partner, and you get everything you need. Does that make sense? Great. On to the next key. I'll just read that out to you. You are alive. That is a given. The choice you have is in your attitude. Do not waste another day waiting for someone else to make your life better. And please take that very, very seriously. Now, key number 4. So, let's look at your life. At one point, if this is your life, this is your lifeline, you're born here, you die there. What's in between? What is the one constant thing that's running in the background in between your birth and your death? Anyone know? It's on the screen. Time. Time, yes. The unit your life is measured in is time. And so every single time you celebrate your birthday, it's a celebration of your life. Does that make sense? And when your birthday has a 0 at the end, that seems to be really significant. Have you ever noticed? Okay, so time is somewhat important. So I want to just share with you one thing about time. Actually, I want to share with you a few things about time, but just before we get to the time truths that I'll be speaking about shortly, I want to say this about time. Who can, if I gave you an open checkbook, so I give you as much money as you need, and what I'd like for you to do is to buy back yesterday, who would be able to do that? No, no one. Time is one of your most valuable resources. Why? Because there is absolutely nothing you can do to regain time. Possessions, money, if it's lost, you can get more. You can get more. You lose some money, you can go and earn some more. Yes? Time, once it's spent, it is gone forever. And you're moving day by day by day closer to this. And so you must understand that your time is valuable. Every moment of every day is valuable and significant. You're not going to be able to regain it. It might feel to you right now that you have an endless amount of time available. That is not true. It is not true. You have a limited number of days in your life. Yes? Now, we've established that time is somewhat important. So I want to share with you my 3 time truths. Who's ever been to a time management course? Anyone? Christy? Oh, sorry, Nikki. How are you with managing time? You're good? Okay, excellent. I just want to take a different angle on that. I don't actually believe that time management is possible. I've had a go. I've had a go at managing time. I've tried really, really hard, and it runs 60 seconds to a minute, 60 minutes to an hour, 24 hours to a day, and no matter how much I managed the time, it just was what it was. It ran in a predictable manner. And no amount of management on my behalf is going to change that. Does that make sense? Time is a thing that we cannot manage. You cannot manage time. It runs the way it runs. It is what it is. So what can you manage? Yourself in the use of time. Time management is a myth. But what we can and should manage is yourself in the use of your valuable time. So what does that mean? I want to touch on something very briefly now, something that we will come back to. And that is that you have a few valuable resources, of which time is one. The others are, or some of the others are, the ones that I'll tell you about today, is your mind, your attention, your focus, and your energy. So 3 very valuable resources that you have is your attention, your energy, and your time. So attention and focus, I use those 2 words interchangeably. That means what you are giving your attention to. So I'm choosing to give my attention to you right now, so I can't watch television at the same time. Does that make sense? Yes. So generally, most people can only give their attention to one thing at a time. Yes? Now, time management. Let's go back to self-management in the use of time. The thing that we can and should manage is the things that we give our attention to in time, as well as the way in which we use our energy in time. Does that make sense? So when you go to look at what you should be doing in a day, what you should be doing in a week, and we'll spend some more time talking about that, it's not about how you can manage time. It's about how can you manage your resources, which are your focus and attention and your energy in the time that you do have, that runs in a predictable manner. Everyone understand that argument? Excellent. Okay, time truth number 2. Who's realized that all things are not equal to all people? Yeah? We're just not born with the same opportunities, the same intelligence, the same height, the same sporting ability, of which I got very little. And so all things are not equal to all people. But the one thing that is equal to everyone is we all get 24 hours a day. And you know what? I watch people, and it is absolutely astounding for me to watch that some people struggle to get out of bed in 24 hours a day, while other people just set the world on fire in 24 hours a day. If you want to use a business example, someone like Richard Branson, what has he been able to achieve with his 24 hours a day? Yeah, not bad going. Where other people really just struggle to do anything in their 24 hours a day. So I want you to know that anything is possible for you. You can use your 24 hours. If Richard Branson can create what he has, why can't you use your 24 hours to create something significant and important in line with your goals? Does that make sense? Excellent. So on to the 3rd time truth. And this time truth really speaks about what you do with your time. And this is what I found. Most people are not spending their time wisely. And so I have 2 standard questions in my coaching that I ask. The first one is, what are you doing that you should stop doing? What are you doing that you should not be doing? Let's write a list. Let's make an agreement that you are not going to do that again, or for the next week, or whatever. And then the second question is, what should you be doing that you are not doing? And again, we make the list. So you need to get clarity about how that applies to you. So I'm asking those same questions for you. What are you doing that you should stop doing? Write it down. What should you start doing? Write it down and engage in it over the next week. Stop what you should stop and do what you should do. Yes? Excellent. On to our 5th key, which is, when is your life? When is your life? Your life is now. And when we get to next week, your life will still be in the now. And when we get to next week, the week after, at the end of the year and Christmas, we'll be in now. We experience life now. And I always laugh at myself when I think, yeah, we should go away somewhere. We should go on holiday. And I found that going on holiday, just that little bit before you go is twice as stressful. Have you noticed? But I'm always optimistic that when I get there, it's going to be easy. I always have this unrealistic expectation that when I get to pack to go away, it's going to be stress-free and easy. But you know what? When I get to that time, when it's time to pack, it's in the now and it's not stress-free. It is so stressful. I'm always going, oh my goodness, I should remember this for next time. It's so stressful, so stressful. And so somehow we need to understand that when things you're planning into the future and you think that you're going to feel different or be different or your circumstances will be different, that's just not the case. Because when you get there, it'll be now. Does that make sense? So let's talk about what you should be doing with the past and your future. So past. Some people in their minds do not live in the now. And remember how I said we have one of our most valuable resources is actually what you're giving your attention to? And that we cannot give our attention to more than one thing at a time. Yes? So if you are giving your attention in your mind to everything that happened in the past, to all of the mistakes you made and all of the failures and everything that you regret and everything that should have gone differently, what are you doing? Your now is passing you by. By living in the past, your now, your life, which is in the now, is actually passing you by. And you will never really experience life. Because the now you're not present in. You're present in the past, but the past is gone. You can't do anything about that now. And so living in the now is the only way in which you can really experience your life. And what about the future? What about living in the future? Let me say to you, it's really important to plan for the future, to dream about the future, to imagine different futures, to enjoy your future in your mind. But you can't live there because it hasn't come yet. And it will always be in the future. When you get to the future, you'll be in the now. That's right. So it's a skill to, when you start, worry about the future, when you start worrying about the future or thinking about the past, you have to bring yourself back and say, let's just be in the now. What do I have? What's going on? I'm healthy. I'm comfortable. I have enough to eat. I have a car and a home and friends and love and family. There's no point worrying about the future or living in the past. Be grateful for what you have now. And when you do that, you'll always have a good life. Everyone clear? Excellent. Time truth number 6. Your life has seasons, and there is a time for everything. Now, I'm not going to pay too much attention to this time truth, other than saying we move through life in seasons in the same way as spring gives way to summer, gives way to autumn, to winter, back to spring. So we move through our lives in different phases and seasons. And this table is taken from a psychologist's work called Erickson, and he did heaps and heaps of research on how we move through different phases and different seasons. And so he uncovered different life stages, of which I'll only touch on the life stages and the themes and what you hope to achieve and what's important. You can get in my book, of which you'll all receive a copy. So you go from being an infant to being a toddler to being preschooler, a school child, an adolescent, a young adult, a mid-adult, and a late adult. I want to just mention one thing that's really important about the fact that we move through seasons. And that is, whatever the season you're in, you should make the very best of that season. You should be setting goals for that season. You should be enjoying that season. If you're a mum of young kids, as I am, I should be enjoying that season and thinking, how can I engage with them? Because they're not going to be young forever. And if you are lucky enough to have your kids left home and you're free, then that's great too. You should be thinking, wow, I'm free. What can I do for myself? This is a new season in life. And so whatever the season you're in, you need to set the goals and work towards having the very best experience in that season. Does that make sense? Excellent. Extraordinary in life, key number 7. We have many hats. Now tell me this. Who will relate to their mother in the same way as they will to their partner? No? No. Or to your children in the same way as you do to your boss? Anyone? Anyone go, you should have said yes, Mummy? No? And so we all have different identities. We have different roles that we play in life, and they're all slightly different. They're all different facets of your life. And so I'll set for you as homework that you need to go and list all the identities that you do have. Go and write them down. I am a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister and a colleague and a boss and a leader and a friend and whatever you are. Go and list them out. And think about each one separately and think how you can be the best person in that role, how you can be the best mentor at work, or the best father, or whatever it is. Key number 8. Your life has aspects. And so do you see that life is a little bit more complex than just living? You have different identities, you go through different stages. Not only that, there are different aspects to your life too. And I want to touch just on a few. First of all, I want to show you that in the center of this circle is a little point. And it's that point that holds this whole circle together. And what that is for the aspects of your life is what you value, also known as your values. So I'll give you an example. I was working with a client and he was somewhat overweight. And so I said, let's call him Jack. Jack, what's important to you? Oh, my career. Jack, what's important to you? Oh, to have fun. Jack, what's important to you? My relationship with my family. What else is important to you? Oh, being wealthy. Did he mention his health? No. Do you know how that translated into his life? He was overweight and unfit and moving quickly to being unhealthy. So what you value really shows you how your circle will look. Okay, so we have health, wealth, relationships, contributions, spiritual, career, playtime, fun, and personal development. And you might have some others in there. And as part of your homework, please go and draw your own circle and go and list out all the aspects of your life and go and think about every one of them. Let me touch on wealth while you write that down. What does it mean to live a wealthy life? Just ask yourself that question. What does it mean to live a wealthy life? I think when you think about that question, you'll find that the answer is not just about money. It's not just about money. Money is really important. Financial freedom is important, but it's a wealthy life, looking at it as a holistic thing. Money is a part of it. Does that make sense? And so for some people, money is more important and they'll spend more time and focus trying to create more money. For other people, say family will be more important. And so they'll spend less time at work and more time with the family. Yes? But for both those people, they're uniquely different. There's no right or wrong. It just depends on what's right for you. Does that make sense? But ask the question, what does a wealthy life look like, feel like, sound like for me? Key number 9, balance is everything. Look at this cool photograph. I'm going to try and do that. on heels. Balance is everything. So what that means is all the different little segments of that wheel, if that wheel is greatly out of balance, like Jack's wheel wasn't that round, it was more skew, and so it was going to fall over sometime if he didn't start to do something about his health. Make sense? So go and look at your wheel and go and see if it's balanced. If it's not balanced, what do I need to do to balance this wheel? What do I need to do to set it on a straight path so that it runs really smoothly? Key number 10, you have life's work to do. Now, what is your life's work? Your life's work is using your unique gifts and talents and contributing to the world by doing what you love. So how do you know that you're doing your life's work? You are good at it. And not only are you good at it, you love doing it because it just is in line with what you are and who you are. It aligns with your authenticity, so to speak. It's true to who you are. It's true to how you were created. It takes advantage of your own strengths, your own ability, and it just is easy and natural for you to do that. That's your life's work. And we'll do a whole session on life's work, but I'll just quickly say that if you don't feel like that in your work, then maybe your life's work something different. And maybe you should be asking yourself that question. What was I created to do? What is my life's work? How can I improve the world by doing what I love? On to the next key. What makes you worthy? Now, I work with a lot of people. And what I've sadly found is when we get to the point where we're so close to creating their own unique, extraordinary life, we're so close to success. Even the most confident people sometimes say to me, I just do not feel worthy. I don't feel like I deserve this. I don't feel worthy of this. Now, I'll share with you what I always say. Do you see that picture of that child? Do you know in the West how we define worth? Your address, your bank balance, your job. Yeah? Anyone relate to that? Is that child ever going to achieve the right address, the right education, the right bank balance? It's unlikely that that child will ever have a bank account. Is that child worthy? Yes. That child is profoundly worthy. Do you know why? Because he is alive. He exists. And so do you. We are worthy because we are here. You didn't choose to be here. You didn't make yourself. You are here. You exist, and that makes you worthy. You are worthy of your own unique, extraordinary life. You are worthy of unleashing your power. You are worthy of creating a life that you will love to live. You are worthy of contributing to the world. You are worthy of being part of a great life and a great world. Does that make sense? So whenever you find yourself thinking, but I don't deserve this, I'm not worthy, it's just not true. Just not true. Remember, you are. So look at that beautiful picture. You are worthy. Worthiness is not achieved, nor is it earned. Worthiness is granted to you by virtue of your mere existence. We are all similar and equal. Is key number 12. We all share similarities. We all want our lives to somehow matter. We all want other people to care. We all want to be loved and nurtured. You all agree with that? And so as a human race, we're all very similar in some aspects. But more important than that, you are unique. There are things about you and about your life that only exist because you exist. There will never, ever in the history of the world or in the future of the world be another you. You are it. And so you're unique. And when you go to create your extraordinary life, that life will be uniquely different. It will be unique to you. Your extraordinary life will not be my extraordinary life. And that is great. It's okay. That's how it's meant to be. We are not the same. And so if you look at someone else's life and you go, that doesn't look so good, or that doesn't seem so pleasant, that's okay, because it might be for them. And so remember that because you are unique and different, it's okay to do things that are unique to you, to love things that are right for you, to create things that work for you. And just because no one else is agreeing with you, does that matter? No, because you are not them, and they are not you. Does that make sense? So over this journey, in these weeks, I want you to think about one thing, and that is, what does my unique, extraordinary life look, feel, sound, taste, and smell like? It's not about creating a life that other people want to see. It's about creating the life that you will love to live. And I really want you to take note of the fact that you're unique and that that is great. Be unique. Be you. So finally, you are invited to live your best life. When? Always in the now. Where? Whoop, wrong one. Where? In the now. Where? Here. Right now. Right here. Today. So who's ready to do that? You're all willing and able? I know you're all able. You're all willing? Great. Okay, so this is your life. It is the best life that there could ever be for you. And only you. Embrace it and love it. Key number 15. Your best life is a be and a do and a have. Who's familiar with this concept of be and do and have? Anyone? No. So I'm going to spend some more time on this at a different stage, but just to touch on it now. Life is about three things. It's about your be, which means your character. Who you are. Are you a loving and kind person? Or are you the kind of person who's out to cause trouble for everyone else? Are you an honest person of integrity? Or are you out to get as much for yourself and take advantage of others? And so that's an important part of your life. Who you are. Just focusing on your character and becoming the very best person you can be. Have you ever heard that? Be the best person you can be. What does that mean? That means look at your character. Look at what's inside and make that great. Make that kind and loving and, I don't know, patient comes to mind, which I'm not, but you get the idea. Yes? Life is a do. So it's about being, and then it's about experiencing stuff and doing stuff. And I think that's White River rafting. So it's about going and doing stuff, not only fun stuff, sometimes stuff that are not so good, not so much fun, but will produce the right results for you. And so that's how I teach my 4-year-old. You can't always do what you like. Sometimes you have to do what you don't like so that you can get what you want. And so that's a have. So life is about who you are, what you do, and then owning some stuff, having some stuff, getting some things for you. And again, what your be and do and have will be unique to you. You have to define those that fit with you. Because you might want something that I don't want, or I might want something that will make no sense to you. Everyone clear on that? So that's part of the homework. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And what do you want to have as part of your own unique, extraordinary experience on life? So in the end, it is up to you to creating your own unique, extraordinary life. I cannot do that for you. You are the only person who can create your own unique, extraordinary life. And my wish is that you will. Please go and create your own unique, extraordinary lives. And so as step one, I'm going to help you. Remember how I said, I'll give you all the information, I'll give you all the awareness, and then you can go and get the clarity and do the action. Yes? Well, the next step is just that. So how can we create an extraordinary life? I'm definitely going to give you some keys and some ideas. And what we're going to do today is step one. Step one of that unique, extraordinary life. By thinking through and defining the time, the aspects, the stages, the identities, and the balance that you have in your life, and they'll create your own unique, extraordinary life for you. Now, I've got good news. If you open those folders, I've created 13 questions that you can ask yourself to do just that. So 13 questions that you need to go and answer. Answer before next Tuesday. Yes? Everyone happy to answer their questions? Excellent. Would you like me to step you through them very briefly? 13 questions every person should answer about and for their life. Number one, what would my extraordinary life look like, feel like, sound, taste, and smell like? Number two, what do I dream of achieving in my lifetime? Question three, what is my ideal daily routine? What is it that you want to be doing every day? What would I like to say that I truly know in and about my life? Just thinking about that question, what is it that you want to know? What is it that you want to learn? I asked one of my clients that, and she came back with a very simple answer, and that is, I want to know what it is like to love and to be loved. That's all. And that was so unique to her. It might be your answer too. What identities do I hold, and how can I be the best in every role? So that refers to the hats we wear, yes? How would I like to relate to other people, to my family, my friends, my colleagues, my community? What would I like other people to think about me? We're all concerned with other people's opinions. And I'll talk more about that at a different time. But go and think about, what do you want? What is the image that you want to present? What emotions would I like to experience during my lifetime? What aspects of my life are important? And what do I want to do, feel, experience, and achieve in each aspect? Question 10, what is it that I would like to be doing in 2 years' time, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and at the end of my life? Has anyone ever considered what they would like to be doing at the end of their lives? No? Now you can. What does balance look like, feel, sound like for me and for my life? Question 12, what would I like to learn during my lifetime? And question 13, what would I like to become during my lifetime? What character would I like to develop during my lifetime? Those are the 13 questions. Now, congratulations, you've made it through the first session.